Good afternoon. Hope everybody had a great Monday. I can't believe there's only 5 days left. And we haven't had one of these in a while, so let's get started. All right. Okay. This is one of my favorite jokes. Plus, New Year's Eve is coming up and New Year's rockin' even Times Square. What's a math teacher's favorite place? Times Square, because times multiplication, square being a geometric figure, and also maybe it's to the square units, which would be area. Okay. Anyway, excited to hit 2025, I suppose. All right. Let's take a look at our work. All right, so I just want to point out that I'm trying to make the criteria a lot more clear for homework so that you can reach it and have full control over what score you are earning. All right. Miss Moose and I are looking to see if you're solving each problem on your own. Okay, you get a 1, 2, 3, or 4 out of that. 3 is meeting the criteria. We're also looking to see if you took video notes. We're also looking to see if you are comparing your own work to the video notes and making corrections where necessary. So if you score in this for all 3, if each criteria is a 3 or a 4, then you get a 10. Okay. And then we might be able to write a little note or something like that based on what we see you can improve on, or something that you want to like definitely keep doing. All right. This is still an area for you to write your information, and let's get into this. Okay. This is lesson 10 notes. We were talking about division with multi-digit numbers using a variety of strategies. So far, our ultimate goal, and I hope that you're rephrasing this because that's going to help you in all math problems. And this right here, both strategies, we're finding multiples of 8 and subtracting them from the total group until we reach 0. So division is basically total amount divided by number of groups equals amount in each group, or those two switched. You could have total amount divided by amount in each group, and then you'll get the number of groups. That's just how division works, because ultimately we want to know how many, and this is a huge, huge concept, 8s in 4,704. So we're looking for like a pretty big number because 8 is less than 10 and 4,704 is over 4,000, right? All right, so let's see what we've got working on here. A large dance gathering had 3,132 dancers. How many groups of 6? So now we know the number in each group, and we are asked to find the number of groups. Okay, so we want a division expression. So it's 3,132 divided by 6 is going to be the number of groups, because 6 is the amount in each group. That's just the definition of division. So I want to know how many 6s in 3,132. All right, so I want to solve and show how many groups of 6 dancers there will be. Use any strategy. I'm going to just use partial quotients, but I will start using the standard algorithm soon. So if I have 3,132 divided by 6, you know what? I'm immediately making multiples of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12, 18, 24. And I'll just put 30 here for, fun there. And okay, so now look at that. I see 30, and that means that 6 times 5 is 30, but I could get it out 2 more place values. What if I say 6 times 300? Let me see, 30, no, times 3,000. What's going to happen there? Okay, let's see what happens. We may be able to, no, I'm so sorry, not 3,000. Crazy pants, Miss Cook. It would be 500. What is my problem? Monday morning. All right, so now I have 6 times, well, first I'm putting my 2 zeros for the 2 place values, and then I have 6 times 5, which is 30. Whew. That was risky, kids. Then 2 minus 0 is 2, 3, 1, and then I don't have anything left there. Now, the reason why it took me a second there is because I have to remember that this is the multiple number, and then this is the number in the dividend that I'm trying to like account for. This is going to be where I know how many groups of 6, and then I'm taking this away. So now I have 132. Let's do, maybe let's just see what 132. Let's try, 6 times 2, but 6 times 20, because 6 times 2 is 12, but 6 times 20 is 120. And then I'm going to get 12 left, and that's just 6 times 2, and then that's it. So I have 500 plus, so 500 sets of 6. I have 20 sets of 6 or groups of 6, and then I have 2 sets of 6, and I'm going to add them, and I have 522 groups of 6 dancers, okay? And because I want to double check, I'm going to do this, 522 times 6. And this is actually required. You should definitely be doing this. And smiley face. Okay, great. Now, if the same number of dancers were now grouped by 3, how many groups would there be? Well, let's see. What's 3's relationship to 6? How many 3's in 6? Oh, 2. So if there's 2 3's in 6, that means that there's going to be double the amount of dancers. So let's check that out. 522 plus 522 or times 2 works as well. And I'm going to get 1,044. Let's see if that works. 1,044, we have to get to 3,132 times 3. 12, 13, 1, 3. And that is correct. So because I knew that there were 2 groups in 3, I'm able to make that work. And double the amount for 6's, because now I'm splitting original group in half, which means I have 2 groups of 3 for every 1 group of 6. Okay, that's really, really important. All right, let's take a look at the next one. A student was trying to find how many groups of 7 were in 2,317. First, she wrote the expression 2,317 divided by 7, and she used multiplication to figure out the answer. All right, cool. Which multiplication expression would be a reasonable first step for a student who's to use when trying to solve 2,317 divided by 7? Well, I'm going to give this some work. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so a student was trying to find out how many groups of 7 were in that number. And so let's just find some multiples of 7. That's going to be absolutely required, and something that is just a really good thing to do. I like to list the number of the multiple on the left and then the actual multiple on the right. So what this chart says is like 1 times 7 is 7. 2 times 7 is 14. 3 times 7 is 21. And then 7 times 10 is 70. So it just kind of gives us a little bit of some information there. So let's take a look. What do you think would be the best way to go about getting a nice chunk of 2,317 gone? I'm looking like if I can get rid of 2,100, I have a nice chunk gone, and I already have 300 as the number of 7's, because ultimately I need to know how many 7's in 2,317. All right. And then here's some fluency practice. Pretty sure you can do that on your own. So I'm going to leave that for you. Let's move to the next page. Okay. This is some of my favorite work here, because we have to always rephrase. Every single time you read a problem, rephrase the problem. This says 480 pens bundled into groups of 12. So if the expression is 480 divided by 12, it's how many groups, how many 12s in 480. Okay, that's what I need to know. And then that's the number of groups, because this is the amount in one group. And that's what division gives us. So let's see what the solution is. Well, if I think of my multiples of 12, I have 48, and I know that 48 times 10. So I could say 40 is 480. So I'm going to get 40 here. All right. And I'm going to use a lot of that. Like the original or the smaller multiple, and then times a power of 10, or, times one of these multiples to give us big chunks of the dividend. So here, 810 library books equally grouped into 9 shelving units. And we then want to know the number on each shelving unit. So this is the number of groups. And then we're asked for the amount in one group. Okay, so we have 810 divided by 9. So it's how many 9s in 810? Well, I know 9 times 9 is 81. So what if I have 90 times 9? I'm going to get 810, and that's going to be a 90 there. Okay. All right. Oh, let's write a problem. I have 720 divided by 8. First, let's solve it. 2, 3, 4. But I also know 9 times 8 is 72. 8, 16, 24, 32. But I know 9 times 8 is 72. So what if I had 90 times 8? I'm going to get 720. So I'm going to have 90 of whatever I want here. All right. So let's say Miss Cook has 720 sets of beads. There are 8 classes who want to make jewelry. How many sets can each class get? Right? So then I'm doing 720 sets divided by the 8 classes, and I'm going to know that I can get 90 sets per class. Okay, sweet. All right, nice work. Now, I'm just moving, it's literally same information, another day, and we have a few more of this to go, because the more we practice, the better and more familiar things become. Plus, if you're studying your multiplication facts, you're gonna start to, really come out on top there. So keep doing that. All right, so this right here, 20 divided by 4 equals 5 is our dividend, divided by the divisor and the quotient. And the divisor and the quotient switch between number of groups and amount in one group. Okay. They could be either, but the dividend is the total we are splitting. All right. So we can split up the dividend lots of different ways. It doesn't have to just be like one immediate number. We can find a series of times that the divisor goes into the dividend, and that's what's really great. So what's happening here is we're asking ourselves, how many 13s in 364? When we ask ourselves that, it opens us up to, oh, you know what? Well, I can have 10 sets of 13, and then I can have 20 sets of 13, or 5 sets of 13, 3 sets of 13, and I want to see how many times that goes into 364. So this question right here, absolutely essential. Eat, sleep, breathe this question. How many of the divisor in the dividend? So let's look at some problems for this. Cassandra began to find the quotient of 408 divided by 12 using the strategy below. Find the missing values to make her work complete. Okay, so first she's dividing by 12. Okay, because we have multiples of 12. So we know 12 times 2 is 24. So 12 times 20 is 240. Okay, and I'm going to write over here 12 times 20 is 240. Okay, and then we also know that 12 times 10 is 120. And let's see, 120 and 240 is 360. So I need to know how much is left in order to answer this question. So I then have 48 divided by 12, and I'm going to get how many 12s in 48? There are 4. So now I have 20 plus 10 plus 4. That's 34. 240, 120, 48 is 408, and then 12 is the divisor. How can I show that the quotient is correct? To be honest, I'm going to multiply that puppy. I'm going to do 34 times 12, 8, 6, 4, 3. And I'm going to do that for every single problem moving forward. All right, let's circle a set of expressions that, when added together, could be used to find the quotient of 805 divided by 35. All right, so I'm asking myself, how many 35s in 805? That is just like so important. And then I'm immediately making a T-chart of the first few multiples of 35. I like to do 1 through 5 and then 10. So I have 35, and then I have 70. Then I have 105 because I'm just adding 35. And then I'm going to find another one, 105 plus 35, 10. I have 140 plus another 35 and 10. This would be 350. I may use some of them. I may go back and find other multiples here. They don't have to be in numerical order, just as long as they're like accurate. All right. So I'm going to circle a set of expressions that could be used to find 805 divided by 35. All right. So if I did 350 divided by 10, I could get 35. And if I have 800, let me see. I gotta work this out. Just doing it on the side there, or just like thinking about it isn't working for me. All right. So let's say I have 35 times 10. So that's 350. 8, 7, 10, 5, and then I have 455. And then I can take another one away. And then I have 105, and then that's 35 times 3, and that's 105. Okay, so I know that the answer is 33. Okay, so let's see what I can do here. So this means that I could say 350 divided by 35 is going to equal 10. That's going to get me this one. Okay. Then, so now I've used up 350 and I have 10. Actually, what if I did 700? Let's do 700. 700 because that's 350 times 2. That's 700 divided by 35, and that equals 20. And then I have 105 left, which I do not have here, but I know that 75 and 35 equal 105 and still divided by 35. So the reason why I did not use these ones is because the divisor is 10, and that's just not helping me. I need to know how many 35s in a number. Sorry about that. I didn't realize I couldn't see it. I need to know how many 35s in a number, not how many 10s in a number. Okay, and I solved it this way, and then I went back and fit it into the mold of the question, because ultimately I want to know how many 35s in 805? And I can find that lots of different ways, but not really that easily with 10. Okay, I really need, and then not with the other choices here. I really need 35. Okay, I'm so sorry I didn't show that. Let me do better on this next one with this showing the space. Okay, I'm trying to get it closer and everything. All right, Miss Honeywell sold 91 cupcakes at a bake sale. Cupcakes were sold in boxes. The bigger dozen were 13. So how many boxes of cupcakes? So let's picture it. Each box is 13, 13, 13, all the way up until 91. So we're asking ourselves 91 divided by 13, or how many sets, groups, or how many 13s in 91? Well, I immediately write multiples, and I believe all of you should too. 13, 26, 39, because I just kind of get used to it then. 49, 52, and 65, I believe. Okay, so let's see. How many sets of 13 and 91? 91, 13. Well, let me take away a 65. 65, which is 13 times 5. And let's subtract. I'm doing this on purpose so that we can practice subtracting. And then look, 26 shows up. And I know 26 because it's right here. Okay. Looking at us. And so now I know that there are 7 sets of 13 and 91. And I'm going to check that. 13 times 7. Great. Okay. So she sold, you have to refer back to the problem. She sold 7 boxes of 13. Okay. 7 boxes of 13. Now, how much money did she make if each box is $15? Well, if I know the number of boxes, 7, and the cost of 1, 15, that's multiplication. 15, 7 times 35. So she made $105 on 7 boxes of cupcakes, but okay. Really nice work. I know that this is difficult, but we're going to keep going. Please make sure that you are checking your work, trying the problems again. Makes a huge, huge difference. And we'll see you tomorrow. Good night.